Hey guys, it's Gwynaire here from Defy Reality Entertainment, and I'm here again for another devlog. Today I'll be going through some Visionaire animation stuff. Not so much adding animations into the engine, because I mean I've been doing a hell of a lot of that recently. Actually, I had a video from last week that I did, a devlog, where I was adding some other kind of animations. I listened back to the audio and it was absolutely rubbish. Something happened to the microphone and it just sounded terrible. I haven't got the most expensive microphone. I just use this little microphone here that does the job quite nicely. I do have like an interface that I could use and then a slightly better condenser microphone. Can't seem to get them working with OBS at the moment, so until that point, you're stuck with this little microphone for now, so enjoy. But yeah, this particular audio was just absolutely horrendous. So yeah, unfortunately I wasn't able to upload that devlog, but today I thought, well, I'm still doing animation stuff, and I'm really hoping to get into the modeling next week. It looks like I'm on schedule with that, which is really good. But yeah, I thought I'd show you an insight into how I'm applying the skip animation option within Neyyah. And I had various ways of doing this before with the Visionaire, but this is kind of like a new technique that I've created. And you can see here, it's kind of new as well, so sorry if I stumble a bit. I will be adding this technique to a new animation as well, so you'll see it come to life within the game. You can see here I've got different animations that play within this scene, and they've all got conditions set to them, which means that when one animation plays, it activates an action part here. And if I come out and then bring this over, oop, that doesn't look right. Not too sure what happened there. And over here, that's better. There you go. Ding, ding, ding. Cool. And what happens is within these this action box here, it actually hides the animation, and it activates upon a left click. So when an animation is playing in Neyyah, you can just left click and it'll skip it. This is great for when there's a lot of animations in Neyyah, like a lot of doors opening and all that kind of stuff. So it'd be nice that when you've seen it, you might not want to see it again. And so the skip, option of maybe you could click escape, but escape brings up the menu within the game, as you'll see in a minute. So I figured as the animation is playing, you could just skip by left clicking anywhere on the screen. It will just skip it, and it's cool because it's a point and click game. You're clicking a lot anyway, so when you're moving around and you click click click, cool, doors opening, click, go past that, and you can get past it. Okay, so I'll show you the animations that play here. Again, escape brings down the menu, so you've got the inventory and all sorts of things here, so that's cool. And you can just come back out, and escape just opens and closes it, but when you're in it and then you come back out, it closes it as well. So this is one of the animations. There's no sounds for it at the moment, but you can see it plays quite nicely. And there's different animations for different states. So I'm going to show you, I don't want to go into too much detail, I don't want to reveal too much. So when I click on this, you click, it skips. You close it, it skips. So it just speeds up things. You can actually do it to this box as well. And as you can see there, I have not got a rendered version of the animation yet. So that's cool, and basically it's quite easy to apply. The when opening the box, I go into my left click here, zoom in a bit on that, it's quite small at the moment. So the different states of the box, obviously it's associated with what's inside the box, and the different states. So what I'm going to quickly go and do now is I'm going to go down here, and we've got the fuses that are inside. As you can see, there's like sort of little things there. again, I'm not going to talk too much about it right now. So you've got the animation that plays, which is cool, which is what it was before. But now I've added this system in so that when you the animation plays, it changes the condition of animation playing. For example, animation playing on open lid, fuses inside, which is the condition here. This is set to false at the moment upon playing the game. But when that animation starts, when you press and that particular animation starts playing on that left click, this condition is set to true and the animation plays. And then after it, it sets it back to false. Because if it was set to true, it would cause a lot of different complications. So you need to make sure that it's set to false straight afterwards. So because it gets set to true upon the animation playing, it activates this action part here, which I showed you before. And upon a left click, once that action part is set, it will hide that animation that's playing. Obviously it needs to be the correct animation as well for it to work. Also the cursor is set to default. This is really good because in some of the animations I've got, actually I'll show you an example. You can I'm actually backing up a hard drive at the moment, so it might be running a bit slow. Now you can go into here. Another quick cool little thing, you can see that the actual fuses change colour there, because they haven't, the render of the animation is slightly different in the lighting compared to what the original image was. So those cropped fuse images are different at the end there compared to the animation. So what I need to do is go to that last frame of that this frame here of the animation and take those fuses out and then include them back into the game. But anyway, so I can skip this, I can skip this, I can go in here. But when I pull one of these levers down, which haven't been fully rendered yet, I can actually pull these levers at the same time and probably take one of these. I might as well just show you an example. There's an example of picking something up, and I'll pick one of those up. The actual mouse becomes disabled anyway when that happens, so you close that down, you close that down, and really I don't want that to happen. I want the player not to be able to pull two levers out that's kind of one after the other like that, and so there is a way of getting around that. And if I go through here and go back to this scene, could have just turned around actually whilst I was in the game, but that's cool. I've got it so that I'm hoping it works, because I did this yesterday and it seemed to work. When I click on this, I can click now and it will just skip. Click, skip, click, skip. And whilst it's playing, I can't interact with anything else. Actually, for some reason, I can, oh yeah, because it skips. Once you click, it skips the animation. So, but I can't actually technically interact until I skip, and then it's interactable. But yeah, so that's really cool. That isn't though. For some reason. The actual lever going down needs to repeat back up, so I need to look into that as well. But what I'm going to do for now is obviously that works to a degree, but what I'm actually going to do quickly is see what's happening within that lever pull. So we'll go to zoom in, go inside, and find out what's happening with that lever. Ah, yeah. So I'm just going to do a quick example here. I'm just going to get rid of those. So you should see an example now of how it should play. Oh, maybe not. My bad. So it should play now, back to front, and the lever goes back up. So basically it's one animation, it just goes down, but then the animation reverses itself to basically just go back up. Stays rendering. But the way I had it set is that you could where is it? You can hide the animation upon the animation lever skip for green, which is this one here, being false. But the thing is, yeah, I need to look into that. I need to look into what's happening there. So yeah, that's something I'll be looking into a bit more, mainly because of the fact that because of the two animations playing, it's causing a bit of a problem with like the clicking is working, the skip is working, but because one animation is playing after the other, it's then playing that one which you need to skip as well, which is just a bit weird because they should really, technically it's like one animation. So I think what I'll probably do is just create one animation of the frames in one actual animation, just kind of mirror it, so it is one animation, particularly for these kind of things. But today I'll be looking at animating the portal in this area here. So, well, not animating, shall I say, skipping the animation. So we're going to be working on skipping, even though it's a very short animation anyway, to be honest, skipping the button animation and skipping this portal animation as well, because, you know, it does take a little while to play and it's really cool, and eventually it's going to flare up into life and be like, and it's going to look really cool and you'll be able to go through it. I haven't added that animation yet to the game, so that's cool, but we want to skip these animations. So I'm basically going to go with what we had before and bring in that as a template. Now I'm going to work on the button animation first, and so what's going to happen is you can skip the button and then skip the portal straight after, because they are two separate animations. The lever is a bit different because it should really be, it feels like it should be just one animation, but because of the way I've kind of done it with Visionaire and having this skip method, they don't really work well together, so that needs to be looked at. So if I go back to an example, I'm just going to pull these two out here and then bring them into portal here, and I'm going to animation on, we can link it to what's actually happening here. So you got a button press anim, so on button press anim there, so it matches our animation. The animation button press anim plays, it's false at the moment. So on the activate, we are now going to bring in, just double checking, we are now going to bring in this condition of the button press anim, and I'm going to make it true, and right at the end I believe this will work. I think I put it about here, just before the change of scene, because the actual portal animation is actually playing on a separate scene anyway, so that might be I might be able to skip that in a different way. There's a couple of animations that actually play on separate different scenes. I'm trying to point to where it is on the screen. So you got all the different scenes here, and some animations play within a scene, some animations play on their own scene. Journey mode animations, for example, will play in their own kind of separate scene, and then that scene disappears to a next scene to have the after image, the after scene. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to check to see if this will work. I do need to add the, oh, actually before I forget, I think I need to add an extra scene here. So I'll bring this in. I mean, a lot of the time it's kind of coming up with something and then just kind of duplicating it and just repeating that method for something else. So it might be I have a cool idea for how something's going to happen, then it's just a case of repeating it, but I'm like, how did I actually come up with that? But as long as it's there and I can just like take away one image and just replace, you know, A with B or something like that, you know, it works quite nicely. Playing animation for playing, so I'm actually going to change this button, press and we're going to go in here. And because that's now active, this needs to hide that button animation. We need to make sure we're on the right scene. Because I copied it from a different scene, it's linking to that one still, so the conditions are wrong for the scene that we're on. We need to go to the one that we're on, which is 13A, which is over here. So I can press my button animation, hide the button animation. So as well as that, I need to also change the condition here to the right one. So we need to go to 13A, and because the button animation is now true, so that condition, this actual action is only visible if this condition is true. At the moment it's false, but upon pressing the button it becomes true. So that means now this is true. This action here becomes true. So we might, hopefully, be able to skip this button animation and it should work. It's a very short animation though, so it doesn't last very long. And again we've got the old button thing problem of button going up and down, so I need to change that. That's cool. But it does skip, so it skips the first animation, but then it plays, as you can see here, it's doing the same thing, playing the animation back and forth. It might be that these animations, maybe, you know, the player might not even have to skip them really, but it's cool to have the option, so that's cool. So it skips the first one, which is good. But now we're going to it's changing to this scene here of portal drop down anim. So it's actually going to portal drop down anim, which is this scene. I've already got a left click on this one here, so I think this is actually already set. The funny thing is though, it's set to the cursor playing the animation, but it's set to forward, which really it shouldn't. I don't really want any kind of cursor on this whilst it's playing. When the cursor enters, it plays the animation and then switches to the next scene. Upon the left click, however, it changes to the scene it needs to be at. And let's try it. So it's playing, no more forward cursor, and skip. So it's now going to the scene it needs to be at, which is the closed, well, the ready portal, ready to go. We have another button thing there, and again, you know, it's going to have to be merged together. There is a skip for this one, but for some reason it's still set to the forward cursor, so we need to go back into that, lift up anim, and we need to go into here and change that to a default cursor. That plays, that skips. Now interestingly, for these animations, I don't know if I will be including it still, but when you skip I think the journey mode might even be skippable on this one. For some reason it's set to forward. Skip, yeah. So it fades, which is quite nice. It's quite a nice kind of effect. You can just sort of skip past that animation. But when you go to these ones, I've set it to that it just like automatically just quickly skips. So that's cool. And I'm wondering if it's going to be better having it so that it just skips automatically for some animations, or, you know, maybe has that nice fade effect for these longer animations. So yeah, that's something I'm working on at the moment, and as well as that, I'm also adding a load of different animations into the game as well. And yeah, it's just a case of kind of working out, you know, kind of what works better for the gameplay, because the fade kind of feels a bit more natural. But having an animation just skip like that, you know, if it's a door, might be a lot, kind of just a lot quicker. But we'll see. We'll see. So I can actually go to another one on the old below the pools area. I'm actually going to go to a slightly different one. I'm going to go to this one. So on this one here, which hasn't been rendered out yet, the door opens and you can then go inside, and closes as well. This is the OpenGL Blender solid state view, so it's just nice quick kind of ways of getting the animations into the game, seeing how they perform, and before they're fully rendered out. But this is kind of a really nice example of just being able to get that animation set up going in. I'm just going to, I think I can actually just paste that in there. So animation playing for door open, and we're going to match it to this one over here. And we're going to set it so that it's obviously set to where we are here. So we need to go to below 12B. It's actually really nice having this option in, because it does speed up the gameplay a bit if you've seen the animations quite a few times. So that's set there. Hide the animation of the below, but I'm going to find that on 12B. I believe it is. Door open, and there you go. So that's set to that. I think it's all linked up quite nicely. It's going to check it. It's going to hide that animation because it's set to default. You make sure that it's set to the right one here, and it's going to skip our door animation. So fingers crossed this works. Nope, it's not working there at the moment. So we just need to double check. I think it might be because I have not set it up in here yet. Okay, that makes complete sense. So we need to copy and paste. Not copy and paste as such, but just need to set up the actual condition. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Put that in there. Make sure that's actually true first, and now we should be able to skip our door. Yeah. And now we can do the same thing for our close door animation. Go into here, go into there, go into everywhere. Close. Keep it consistent. Okay, and then we're going to hide closed door. Once you get a flow going like this, when it's actually working, it's actually quite easy to set up. You just need to make sure that the conditions and everything are set up correctly, because that thing of why isn't it working, it's set there but it's not skipping the animation because, you know, certain things weren't in place. But once you get a good flow, it's fairly sort of straightforward. Now I need to go into my close, and I need to make sure that that condition is set correctly. So the closed door is false here, and it's true at the top. Brilliant. That should work on the closed door. Now this is interesting because this hotspot for closed door only becomes active once on open door the animation is played of the open door, the forward becomes visible is true, and the closed door hotspot is true. This happens all after the animation plays, because if you had it before, I'll show an example. If I put that closed door here, so upon this click I've opened the door, so now I've got this hotspot. Oh, that's strange. Should be, oh yeah, because obviously we've got the new skip hotspot, which basically covers the entire screen, which kind of disables any problem of kind of having like hotspots appear when they shouldn't really be appearing anyway. So that kind of disables and solves that problem in itself. So if I go back to where we were, let me open. Let's put that back down where it was. Awesome. And now we go to closed door. We should hopefully have a skip. That's visible and brilliant. We can now skip our animations. So we can skip it anywhere on the screen, and the hotspot automatically appears where it should be. So it's quite nice. Let's go inside. I'll come back out. And I need to do the same thing for this door as well. So it's quite a process of going through all these different animations. What's really cool as well is that when you do come out of a door, depending on where you are, the actual door closes behind you, and there'll be like a sound of that as well, so you can kind of like tell that it's closing behind you, and so it just goes into its natural closed state. So funny enough, the action of what happens when you close a door like this, it's disabling the forward, it's disabling the closed door hotspot here, it's resetting the image back to its normal self by taking away this open door image here, which is set to the open door condition, which becomes true after you've the animation plays. So it's basically just the last scene, the last frame of the animation. But when you leave that particular area that you go into here, and you come back out, it's actually doing that as well. It's performing that same action of making sure that this image is disabled and obviously going into a neutral state of the door being closed. So you can just do that. So it's quite a nice way of just being able to get around Neyyah a lot quicker. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There was a few things there that I'm gonna have to delve into and sort of work out how to solve, but I think it's just a case of basically, instead of having two animations, separate animations, it needs to be one animation. It means that the animation plays of the button going down or the lever going down, and then basically taking those frames, reverting them, and having it as one animation, and then it'll be solved, because then you get to skip that one animation like you're doing with the door or closing the door. So, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to get back into animating some cool things now for Neyyah. Next week I'll be looking at getting into modeling again. It's been a little while since I've been doing any modeling for Neyyah. It's been a lot of engine work recently, which is great, but I really love the modeling. I love the creating the world, the creativity in that area of work. It's just where I feel I work stronger. I'm better focused for that kind of work. But it's been really fun, obviously, working with Visionaire and putting everything together and seeing it come to life. It's it's something that really spurs you on. I'm no programmer, I don't program, so obviously with Visionaire it kind of just makes things easier for me to get my head around as well, and make it obviously interactive and make it a game. So hopefully next week I'll be doing a devlog, doing some Blender work, and you'll see some of my work in there. So if you like this video and you want to see more, and like, subscribe, comment, and wishlist Neyyah on Steam as well. I can't wait to share this world with you, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, night, evening, morning, wherever you may be in the world, and I will speak to you in the next video. Bye.